25 years. They have six wonderful children together. They've been able to homeschool most of their children. They've been blessed to be able to do that. They also run a non-for-profit or Christian parenting ministry called Win Their Hearts, where they've been able to travel all over the world and present information to people on parenting and having that relationship with God and with children. They've also had a television and radio program in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Cesar's been in the sales and engineering field in his professional career for over 12 years, I believe, maybe 18. So he's been in there for a long time. He'll have to clear that up for us. But he has a lot of knowledge, and he's a person to have presenting information to us this morning. Cesar, are you there?
Yes, thank you, Jan. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for your kind words. And we are ready to start with this training. And I have two segments to it. Why now? In the two skills. We're mostly going to focus on the two skills aspect, but if you can take notes on the first introductory part, because I'm going to talk about two elements. One of them, why do you want to change your life right now? Why would you want to do something different right now than what you're doing already? And number two, within that same first section, it's why is now, if you're going to do what we're doing, the moment to do it. So here's a picture of my family. We have 6 kids, been married for 26 years, and we have 6 kids that we have invested our lives into. And when my daughter was born, who is now 22 and married, I had a revelation from God, and I realized that when that little girl was born, my most important calling in life, my most important accomplishment, and the mark that I would leave on this world would be my family. That just came to me, and we started my wife and I started researching about parenting. How does this work? Because we looked around everywhere. And I saw a bunch of families who didn't know how to raise their kids, and I had no idea. So I just started researching and interviewing people and reading every book I could get my hands on. And all that search ended in the ministry that we have called Win Their Heart. I want to take you to the website so you can see it. We've been doing this for about 10 years, and I'm going to tell you why I'm sharing this aspect about ourselves. So we have 6 conferences here. The first one, we talk about the first challenge. Why is it difficult to raise a family today? Because of what has changed historically in the last 100 years in the Western culture. I give an overview of what has happened to the family. Number 2, the key to it all, I give an overview of why God created the family so that we would know Him. That is the reason why. And then on the practical aspects, the way to parent is the way to parent the way God parents us, by being our kids' friend and their leader. 7 steps for each. And the last steps of being our kids' leader has to do with establishing limits. How do you discipline? And so forth. And then we have an extra conference which is called How to Win Your Teen's Heart, which I believe that teenagers are adults. They're not children. Our culture has created that part of their lives when they don't have a responsibility yet, but I believe that they are adults. So we were doing, with my career, before the recession came, before 2009 or so, we were doing a lot of conferences for this ministry. We started a radio program and a TV show. We were completely financed by us and another family that we're really good friends with. Things were going great because I had an occupation that allowed me to be close to my kids and allowed me to invest our energy and our resources in what we're passionate about. But when the recession came, everything changed. Now I no longer had time. We were no longer able to continue any of the activities, radio, TV, or conferences. It was now about just providing for a family. So about 3 years ago, 3 years into that search, Pam and I were looking for something, asking God for something. We found World Ventures. We found our business. And the reason why we're doing our business is so that we can take care of our residual bills. Everybody has residual bills. I want you to think about how much money you make per month. Okay? And I want you to think in a different category, how much money you spend per month. You know, everybody has expenses, living expenses, a mortgage or a rent, transportation, utilities, food, insurance, etc. And I want you to think about how much time and how much money you give to another cause outside of yourself, outside of providing for your family. How much time and how much money do you give to anybody outside yourself? In our case, we believe in God. We want to carry the good news through a bunch of friends that we have that have dedicated their lives to do that full time. They're missionaries. One of our dreams is to continue doing our ministry and investing our lives into what they're doing. We have friends in different continents who are doing this that we would like to be a part of. But guess what? I can't do very much because I got my job. What about your church? Are you part of a church that you'd like to be more involved with, but without sacrificing the little bit of precious time you have left with your family? I just want to hit this subject because I want to ask you, why would you want to do this? Why would you want to do a business that would allow you to have passive income? Imagine that you could create the exact amount exceeded by $1 of what your expenses are with passive income from this business. You would be free. We don't even have to talk about making a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. No, you will be free because now you have time and you have the ability to create other forms of becoming significant, of being a good steward with the life that God gave you. So I want to just ask you to think about that today when we're done and reflect upon, man, how much time do I have left on this earth? We had a little exercise at our church where our pastor asked us to, he passed out this little piece of cardboard, looked like a ruler. It had about 110 written on it. And then he said, this is not a ruler, but it actually symbolizes your life. I want you to bend the little piece of cardboard. I want you to bend it to the point where you are, and it's divided 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, etc. So I bent it at my age. And I'm like, whoa, that piece of cardboard looks really small now. And then he asked us to bend it, and I'm gonna see if you can see me. Let me know if you can see. Can you see my screen? If you can just raise your hand and tell me that you can see it. So this is the little piece of cardboard that he made. Let me see. Can you see this piece of cardboard? Anybody? Can you tell me or no? Yes. Pam, can you nod yes or no? I can't hear you. I can only see you. So yes or no? Yes, cool. Thank you, Seth. Okay, so check this out, right? So the pastor said, okay, I want you to take this little piece of cardboard and I want you to fold it. In my case, it was 25 because I'm 25 years old. Yeah, whatever, man. I'm 49 years old. So I folded it. And then he said, I want you to fold it to the point of how old you think you're going to be on this earth, how long you're going to live. So at first I folded it at 90. And Pam had folded it at 100, and she said, no, don't fold it at 90 because I don't want to be alone for 10 years. I said, okay, fine. I folded it at 100, okay? I'm trying to live a healthy life so I can be a better steward. And then I realized I don't have a lot of time left. The little time that I have on this earth, you know what the greatest tragedy it is? To spend it on ourselves. To spend it on just providing for me. In my family. The Bible says, yeah, so you love and you help the people in your family. So what? Even unbelievers do that. What about becoming effective in touching other people's lives? All right, so finish with that point. I'm going to go to the second point. Why now? Why this opportunity? Why World Ventures? We talk about being the perfect storm of opportunity because travel is among the largest industries in the world. And I want to talk about this because the direct selling industry, it's a $170 billion industry every year. I want you to take notes on this training because I want you to become educated about it. $170 billion a year, and 7 out of 10 American homes use some kind of a direct sales product. It's a very big and thriving industry. Now, 75% of that revenue is generated by the top 100 companies in the world. That is very important to know. Because I recommend to people who are doing some kind of network marketing that they focus on working with a company that has been in the market for 5 years and has sold $50 million. Forgot to look at that one, so I'm gonna search it here. Top 100 direct selling companies. We have just jumped to number 32. 2016. Here it is. 2016. If you go to that list, you're going to find out that most of these companies sell what we call, respectfully but truthfully, lotions and potions. Pills, potions, and lotions. And some of them are great. We use some of them. Great. Look at Amway now, still number one, $9 billion. Went about $2 billion from last year. Avon, Herbalife, some of the ones that I recognize, Mary Kay, etc. Most of them are products. There are a few that are, like this one is financial services, electricity. I'm going to do a whole other training that talks about just the advantages of what we have. With what these people have. Junice, Avon, Young Living, USANA, blah, Isogenics. Okay, we just jumped to number 32 with $693 million. And we are the only direct selling company in the travel industry. Let me tell you why that's significant. Coffee, first look at the left. The coffee industry as a whole is about $100 billion a year industry. Starbucks is a $15 billion company. They captured about 15% of the market. That is crazy huge. But you can see why a company like OrganiGold, a coffee network marketing company, get into that space. It's a pretty big space, $100 billion. A lot of people drink coffee, right? What about the nutrition industry? Nutrition industry is about $300 billion. If you go to all the Whole Foods, all the vitamin stores in the world, it's about $300 billion as an industry. It says here 226, but actually the number is about 300 billion now. Most companies in direct selling are trying to compete for this market. What about travel? Travel is not now 7, but almost $8 trillion every year, and it grows by $1 trillion every year. You can put 3 nutritional industries inside just the growth of travel every year. We don't have to compete for a piece of the pie. We only need a few crumbs to create something that will last for generations, and it's not a fad. It's the same Hawaii, it's not the better Hawaii with the better ingredients. I want to go back here, a couple of numbers. So we are also part of the Inc. 5000. The Inc. 5000 is the top 5,000 fastest growing companies in the world. And I can't get to it because the screen, let me see if I can move the screen just a second. Do this. Okay, here it is, Inc. 5000. The top 5,000 fastest growing privately held companies in the US of any kind, not just direct selling, any kind. We are number 677. This is just the growth in the US with a growth of 581%. Look at this, we're right behind this company, 581%, but they're only $6 million, $6.7 million. We are, look at the numbers they're using. I mean, it's easy to grow. Look at this one, it's only $4 million. Well, it's easy to grow, 582% when you're only 4 million. But look at our size. Look at how complicated it is to grow. These are some business facts that you need to have in your sleeve whenever you talk to somebody about our concepts. Okay, next one. No, we have no competition. All right. So, guys, the time is now, and now we have the technology with a smart card, with the intelligent card. You need to get information about that because that is a disruptor in our market. I'm going to make another video about it, and I just ask your person who invited you to this webinar to tell you more about that. Okay, so now let's move on to the 2 skills. Let's get down to the reason why this business is going to work for you. And I'm going to put it down here. Okay, if this business is going to work for you, it's because you're going to become really good at 2 things. And those 2 things, the 2 pillars upon which this business is built, you have to become really good at making friends. And I don't just mean making friends that you are going to contact for your business. No, I mean the people that you bring into your team. You have to develop a few abilities that are crucial. And then the second one is the ability to lead people. All right, so friendship has to do with empathizing with people, with listening to people, with connecting with people. Leadership has to do with the ability to convey authority, belief, conviction, the ability to teach, and the ability to solve conflicts. Guys, we live in a society that does not know how to solve conflicts. Our divorce rate is over 50%, even within Christian circles, which don't believe in divorce. Why? Because we don't know how to solve conflicts. Don't even know how to solve a conflict of one-on-one. We're talking about solving conflicts of several groups of people. I've been in close contact with my mentor, Scott Ross, who has thousands of members in his organization. And he has had to deal with conflicts that are very complex. So how are you going to develop these two abilities? If you're going to become a person who can lead 3,000 people, you have to grow in two areas. Number one, you need to read 10 pages a day. There is no mystery in growing. Ask yourself, I'm asking you, are you reading 10 pages a day? And I would recommend start with this book. If you have not read this book, if you have not read it in a while, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's an amazing best-selling book. It's going on for decades and decades. I just finished a really great book called Crazy Love. It's really, really good. And I'm about to review again How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've probably read it about 8 times. I recommend you review it every year. That's how important it is. Number 2, listen to one audio per day of a person who's having success in your business. And I'm going to give you the sources in a little bit where you can find it. Number 3, you need to connect with people that are like-minded weekly. Weekly. We started now doing a webinar business presentation weekly, every Thursday night. Maybe by the time you hear this recording, we're doing more. Check with the person that you're working with. And we're doing a presentation every morning at 9 a.m. Every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So check your times. And we do these two methods of staying connected and training people that are, first, people that are exposing people to our concept, and number 2, training people that are in our business already. And I'm going to recommend that if you don't live close to where we live, the Dallas area, that you start some kind of an event once a week wherever you live so that you can have the people that you're working with come to that. All right, so let's talk about where you can find information. First of all, you can go to YouTube and listen to books for free. I recommend you download the Chillin app to the right, to the little parrot there. Chillin Worldwide app. It's a free app put together by some of our top leaders. We are actually in their downline. We're in their team. Byron Schrog and Jeff Balf, quadruple IMDs. Download the app, listen to something daily. You can also go to SoundCloud. You can go to SoundCloud and search for a speaker that you like, and you will find different trainings by those speakers. And then in the bottom right, you see how you can go. I'm gonna use my arrow here, but if you can go on your back office, worldventures.biz, there is a button here for Advantage. I think it's I don't just highly suggested, but it's a necessity that you subscribe to this so that you can listen to an audio a day. It's full of audios from Mark Casetta, our director of training, to every one of our different people who have achieved levels of leadership and success in our business. Just get that program and listen to an audio a day and read 10 pages a day. Come to the events. Come to the live events. We have 4 big live events right now. Today we're going to have in Dallas a Super Saturday with double IMD Byron Schrog. I'm going to go to that with my team and connect for the next regional training event, which is on December 3rd. Tickets are right now $39. They're $60 at the door. So if the event is not sold out, I recommend you buy your ticket now. And then the first big event of 2017 will be Momentum in Arizona, the last weekend of January. Please talk to the person who invited you and ask him how you can go there. And I'm looking forward to meeting you there. All right, so I want to talk about about this concept to finish. As you grow in friendship, as you grow in leadership, as you develop those two aspects, you have to invest. And they say that the best way to learn something is to read about it, number one. That's the third best way. Second best way to learn something, to get good at something, is to actually apply it. So as you are reading, as you are listening, I want you to consciously, proactively apply what you're learning in all those aspects. In empathizing with the prospects that you're talking to. Throughout our system, we talk about the importance of friendship is because when you show the business to somebody, you need to empathize with them, open up about your situation, using your three-step setup, connecting with them, understanding their situation, listen to their situation, and by asking questions, help them overcome objections, to persuade him to move forward with the business, to come to the training events. I'm going to talk about it in more detail at the training next weekend, but you have to become good at that. Then also the friendship aspect is important because when you sign somebody up, we talked about that last weekend, you need to have them take you to their easy ones, to their white hot market, to the lowest hanging fruit in the tree. So when they go to show that to them and you go with them or you help them on a three-way call, it is crucial that you can connect with that person, that you can make friends quickly. Because if that person is interested, now you remove 2 or 3 generations from the person that you actually know. What are you going to do with that person? You're going to help them contact their easy ones as well, their white hot market. And you're going to be involved in that process. Guess what? You're going to have to develop the ability to lead them to take you to their white hot market and so forth. That is so, so important. And then number 2, on the leadership aspect, you need to develop the ability to have the conviction, to have the certainty, to speak about what you're speaking, about the industry, about your company, about where you're going in particular. People follow strength, people follow certainty, people follow leaders who know where they're going. And very important on the leadership aspect, you have to become a master at not taking offense. You have to become a master at solving conflicts, not just for you, for the people that are going to come and follow you. I look at the life of my mentor, Scott Ross, and I see how he impacts people worldwide. He very frequently shares on Sunday mornings during the big events. It's a church service that we have, and he has an evangelistic message. And then he has started a discipleship program for people that want to know more about God through the messages that he has shared. Do you know why they come to him? Because his life is congruent with the message that he's preaching. Become a person who's congruent with the leadership that you are projecting, okay? Things at home need to be in order. And I tell you honestly, things at home have not always been in order in my case, but I want to be 100% a leader who's walking the talk, who is leading by example. And that only happens when you're growing, both as a friend and as a leader. All right, so having touched that, I want to finish with this. Our director of training, Marcus Seda, talks about a concept that my mentor, Scott Ross, also touches in one of his trainings. There are 3 kinds of people as you're growing and building your business. This is a numbers game. And there are 3 kinds of people as you approach them. They're going to be red apples, green apples, and rotten apples. You cannot change the apples. And when you find the apple, the red, they're red. Those people are the people that are ready. They're people that are saying, man, I've been looking for this my whole life. I was on my knees this morning, and this is the answer that God has given me. We all want to find the red apples, right? It's easy to work with the red apples. They're coachable, they're teachable, they are humble, they can take a punch, they're gonna get up quickly when they fall down, they have credibility with their prospects. We pray for those apples because you only need 3 to go IMD. 3 lineages at 1,000 each, okay? Now, most people are not gonna be red apples. They're gonna be green apples. What are green apples? They have completely 100% the potential to become red apples. You cannot force the process. People are at the place where they're at, and you need to tend those apples. You need to love them. You need to befriend them. You need to lead them in different ways. How? By befriending them, connecting with them, and by leading them and giving them challenges so they can grow. We can only offer people the opportunity to change. They only have They're the only ones who have the power to change themselves. We sort. More than selling, more than closing, we're sorting, we're finding people that resonate with our message, convincing people, it wears you out, sorting people, going faster through people to find the right ones. It encourages you. Timing is everything. I can tell you that I came into this business by a very thin thread. My wife, Pam, can tell you that. I didn't think I needed this business. Then we signed up, like, okay, fine, let's check it out. And get 2 weeks later, I lose my job of 13 years. All of a sudden, I was put in a different situation, but I was not red. I was still green, but I was now quickly ripening. Then I had a job that I didn't like for about a year. And again, I was not sure if this business was going to 100% be for me, but I continued ripening. Timing is everything. A no is not a no forever. Stay in contact with people who told you no, because most people don't hate this. Okay, in 3 years of sharing this concept, I have signed up 84 people personally to this point. I can count only in about one hand people who said they were very negative. Most people are not very negative. Most people, they like it. It's just not for them right there. So they give you an excuse. That is totally cool. Those are people that you can approach again right now with the fly card. And I'm gonna make a video that explains how to do that, because we had an incredible Q&A session with Byron Schrog, double IMD, last night. So anyway, all that to say, stay in contact and just go through the numbers. Some will, some won't, some won't, so what? Some will, some won't, so what? Who's next? That's what you need to keep telling yourself. Better to spend 1 minute with 100 people than the opposite. Guys, this is a numbers game. I want to encourage you, continue growing, continue becoming the person God wants you to become, the person your family needs you to become, the person who can lead 3,000 members and become financially free. The time is now. This is the opportunity that if you ever were going to do some kind of a passive income business, this is it, guys. And guess what? The time is now for you to create it too. I'm here to help you. My name is Cesar. Add me on Facebook if we're not friends yet. God bless you. Contact the person who contacted you. You can live the life you dreamed of, a life of freedom. Talk to you soon, guys.